Soulframe has had a ton of changes, updates, and hotfixes, which is great news for a game still in development, and progress is not likely to slow down anytime soon. TennoCon is right around the corner, and DevStream 8 promises exciting insight into future updates. Let's get ready for the next chapter of Soulframe's story with a recap of what's changed since my previous videos, and take a peek at what we know is coming soon. Soulframe's new player experience remains pretty similar to what it was when I made my new player guide, but there have been a few changes we should cover. The starting weapon for Courage is now Wolder, a brand new long blade attuned to Courage. Solos 1 is now attuned to Spirit, and it can be crafted with 2 Volcanae at Bond 2. The starting weapon for Spirit is now Gwilyn, a brand new staff weapon. The Voltaic weapon category got renamed to Magic, and it includes both Gwilyn and Odiak, which is now craftable with 2 Volcanae at Bond 2. The concept art we saw in DevStream 6 was actually not Gwilyn, so perhaps we can look forward to another staff weapon coming in the future. Thistle is still the starting weapon for Grace, but it now has its own unique skin. Blitzel has returned as a Courage-attuned bow, craftable at Bond 2 with 2 Volcanae. You can get fragments for starting weapons from faction tales, but only for the 2 weapons that are not the starting weapon for your current faction. If you're a new player, this should make it easier for you to get fragments for the weapons you didn't start off with. But if you're a returning envoy, you'll need to make sure you're in Kith of Kings or the Silent Rose to get Gwilyn, and Alga's Children or the Silent Rose to get Wolder. Faction tales in general got some excellent changes for grinding standing. Tale NPCs now spawn with a star rating that indicates how long the tale will be, and up to 3 NPCs can spawn at a time. 1-star tales will have a single objective, 2-star tales will have a short path of objectives, and 3-star tales will have a longer path of objectives. The longer the tale, the more standing you get. All tale objectives can now be abandoned by leaving the area, and a timer will pop up on your screen to warn you when this is about to happen. Armor now provides defensive stats, which I covered in my video about armor sets, but we're still waiting on the new armor we got a peek at in DevStream 7. I'm very interested to see what kinds of defenses we get in these new starting sets. If you love mixing and matching armor sets for aesthetics, don't worry. We don't have a transmog system yet, but DE is working on it, so something along those lines is definitely going to be added at some point. Totems now give virtue points. In order to swap to a new faction, you will still need to craft that faction's totem, but you only need to have the totem in your inventory to enable the faction swapping dialogue. You can wear whichever totem you like to complement your build, and the Festival of the Starcade introduced the Triune Talisman, a totem that gives 1 point to every virtue. Crafting in general has had a few noteworthy changes. Both the bond level and the number of fragments required to craft weapons is now determined by that weapon's rarity. Common weapons can be crafted at Bond 1 and require 1 fragment, uncommon weapons can be crafted at Bond 2 and require 2 fragments, and rare weapons can be crafted at Bond 3 and require 3 fragments. Weapons no longer require joinery to craft, so reforging is now the only way to add joinery to a weapon. DE has stated that new joineries will be added in a future update, but we don't know when or what types of bonuses those joineries will offer. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a complete rework of all joineries, since right now joineries don't seem to do anything at all. But we'll have to wait and see what makes it into game. The weapon rack in our Nightfold now has a function. Interacting with it allows you to purchase pact capacity and weapon capacity using what will most likely become premium currency when the game is released. This functions almost identically to Warframe's weapon and Warframe slots, so both main weapons and sidearms count towards your total weapon capacity. You can check your total pact capacity by looking at the new pact equip interface, but there's currently no way to check your total weapon capacity. I'd love to see a capacity indicator added to our inventory menu. In Preludes 10, all new characters start with enough capacity to have 1 of every pact and all but 1 of the weapons. Duplicate pacts and weapons will take up additional capacity. We can't currently sell or destroy pacts, but we can sell weapons to Avocot whenever we find him out in the open world. Selling a weapon frees up that inventory slot, letting you claim a new one from 2 Volcanae, so you won't have to buy more capacity if you'd rather just hold on to your favorite weapons and sell the ones you don't like. And I suspect we'll eventually be able to sell or disassemble packs as well. Speaking of packs, Siren and Orengal each had changes worth mentioning. Siren's Pickpocket now requires enemies to be fully unalerted in order to activate, meaning it's not enough for them just to be CC'd or for you to be invisible. Enemies also now seem to have an internal loot status, meaning they can only be pickpocketed once even if you're in a group, instead of once for each player. While this is technically a nerf, it was very much expected since the old pickpocket was way too powerful. Orengal, on the other hand, got a pretty juicy buff. Werewalker can now perform a finisher when attacking in wolf form. The attack controls are a bit finicky, but when you use it successfully, the finisher does a massive 1000 damage, allowing you to instantly kill bannerets. World trees now do more than just reveal your map. Interacting with each world tree shows you a unique message board for that location, letting you read, write, and reply to messages for and from other envoys. You can also show some love to the messages you like and report messages that violate the game's community guidelines. Cloud Quell potions are now much more useful in collector fights. Nimrod has a homing teleportation attack that makes fighting him a bit spicier if he's not debuffed. Using a Cloud Quell will prevent him from using this attack as well as prevent him from healing, so they're definitely worth picking up whenever you can. Turning our attention towards the future, let's chat a bit about the Moat Rework. DE decided to delay the Moat Rework until a future update, which makes sense given how much content has been added to the game lately. In this video, I've focused on updating information on parts of the game that have changed since I last talked about them, but there have also been completely new additions like Sidearms, the Circade, and the Mendicant King, so it's not terribly surprising to me that something as complex as the Moat Rework had to be pushed back. That said, in preparation for the Moat Rework, the kick attack was removed from the game, and we have no word yet on why this was done or if the kick will be coming back. This does mean that Ode Tempest's Gravitate upgrade currently has no function since there's no way to activate it. If the kick is gone for good, I expect we'll see this upgrade swapped out for something else, or it will be changed to trigger on a different action, but that's only my best guess. Finally, we've got to talk about TennoCon. For folks unfamiliar with TennoCon, this is an in-person convention hosted every year by Digital Extremes. The in-person component of this convention is relatively small, but DE makes up for it with live streams and in-game events. TennoCon primarily focuses on Warframe, the game DE is most famous for, but there will be some Soulframe content as well. I'll put a link below if you want more information, but the most relevant bit for Soulframe happens on July 19th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. This is when we'll get to see Soulframe Devstream 8 live from the TennoCon main stage. The official announcement hints at a new Mendicant enemy, as well as Bromius, the bear we saw at the end of Verminia's quest, who will likely come with a new pact. That's already a lot to look forward to, but hopefully we also get some updates about the Moat Rework and those hairstyles we saw back in Devstream 6. Either way, this Devstream is going to be a big one, so let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me do a Devstream review after it airs. In the meanwhile, get out there and start collecting crafting materials because I bet we're all going to do a lot of reforging as soon as those new joineries get into game. If you found this update summary useful, please consider helping my channel with a like or subscribe. And until next time, happy hunting!